There is really one big message that I want to share, and this is follow your intuition. There is no single concept out there that is as good as your intuition. And if everybody else around tells you this is not good and you feel this is for me, then please do it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Project Positive Change Soul Series. Michelle, Jeffrey, and I are super excited to have Martina Whitehouse with us today. Hello, Martina.
Hello, Nikki. Hello, Michelle. Hello, everyone on the call. So nice to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. We're so appreciative that you're here. I just want to give a little background before we get started. So Project Positive Change Soul Series, our mission is that we bring together visionaries, change agents, and thought leaders who are ready to shine the light of awareness on topics that will create a wave of positive change in the world. A collection of teachings will be shared, sparking conversations that matter, which is at the heart of our Soul Series. And like I said, our guest today is Martina Whitehouse, and she's going to be speaking on overall health. Don't focus on what you don't want. And Michelle, you're going to take it away with a little bio of Martina.
Nikki, and welcome, Martina. I'm super excited to be here today with you. I'm super excited to share the gifts that you are bringing to this world. So I'm going to let everyone know that Martina Whitehouse is an alternative health practitioner. She's a medical intuitive, a healer and communicator with both people, human beings, and animals in the brain, body, and soul. She studied a wide range of healing practices, including epigenetics, quantum healing, energy psychology, spinal column, and joint therapy. She's also achieved her master level in Reiki and NIS, which stands for Neurological Integration System Therapy. I hope I'm getting this all right, Martina.
That's perfect.
She's also the CEO of Make You Happy, which is a science meeting holistic thinking. I love I encourage everyone who's watching this to seek out her website and check it out, because there's so much more than what we can actually show you in this hour. Martina came to her gifts, if I understand this correctly, when it started to show up at 14 years old. She developed shingles, which is a painful condition related to the chickenpox condition. I'm going to let her fill you in a little bit more about that in a second. But before I do, I love this quote that I found on your website, Martina, is you cannot heal the body without healing the mind. And you cannot heal the mind without healing the body. So I'm super excited about what you're bringing to us, our awareness today, about not focusing on what we don't want to get that optimal overall health. So welcome to our call. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for introducing me. And it was perfect. It was all perfect. Yes.
So Martina, before you begin on the overall health, just tell us a little bit about how, and you also say that chaos can be quite positive, but not when it's inside of you. And is that really what, just give us a little bit of background with the shingles and how that chaos inside of you actually shifted some things. If you could just give us a little bit more background on that.
Of course, I'd love to. Well, what happened, shingles normally show up after you said a chickenpox infection. And the chickenpox happen normally when you're a child. And the shingles is said to be a disease of the elder, when immune system is weak. So it can be like decades later when that shows up. But it happened to me when I was 14 years old. Mm-hmm. And It was a weird thing. It happened like in the regular way around the chest area, but then it jumped, kind of like made a jump and got also into my face and inside of my mouth. And what happened then, I could not have food. I could not even have a lot to drink, no, not even water, because everything burned like hell. So what will you do? You just have nothing and try to get over the day. But then I noticed after like 3 days that I got stronger, having no food, having not to digest matter. My brain was much more focused. I was very, very creative. And while the healing process lasted, it took me about 3 weeks to go through that. I had nothing to eat for 3 weeks and only little to drink. But I felt inside shifted something. I got messages. I saw kind of like visions. I'm not a visual person, but how could I explain? There were just these ideas. Everything popped up and everything was simply clear. And I did talk to animals and like hands-on healing for animals when I was a child already. But now suddenly everything started to make sense. And although it took me a long time to discover what this really means, what really happened at that time, this was the foundation. And if this had not happened, I would not have these insights and the wisdom that I have today and could do the work that I'm doing for humans and animals. So something shifted, the DNA shifted, I don't know. It was just given from source. And it was a gift. It was chaos inside. It was extremely painful, but it was a gift. And therefore I could declutter and let go and just receive and allow to see those things and allow them to grow inside of me.
I'm fascinated because normally, like I feel that when we deprive ourselves of, food, nutrition, I know for myself, I'll get dizzy, unclear, things will get foggy. So I find it so interesting that by not having the food, that you did experience those shifts and that you had clarity. And I'm curious what you think. That I know you said maybe the DNA shifted, but any other thoughts as to what you think might have happened in that 3-week period that you were going through this that caused that clarity?
Well, this is a huge belief that you need to have food regularly. Of course, you need some nutrition to go through the day. We are still human. And I'm really not sure about these people that only live from light energy. I don't know what to say about that. But I still live in that way now, kind of like I'm only having food once a day. Sometimes I have like 3 or 4 days for no reason. I just stop eating and only continue after 4 days. Your body can heal, can relax. So even on a physical level, you have a restart of stem cells. Your body is cleaned up. It's also known in cancer therapy that it would be the best to have a like 3-day fasting when you start, because what happens, your body has nothing to do with digestion. This is very challenging for the body and takes lots of energy itself. But all your cells are going to look around inside of your body looking for something. They can make use of it. They can gain some energy from it. And therefore, old, outdated cells, damaged cells, everything is cleaned up because your body is looking for, where do I get some power from? And on that level, on itself, it makes sense to give your body a break and to start a complete reset. It's like hitting the reset button. For me, food, I love food. I'm originally a professional cook, but still I do not depend on food. One day I decided consciously that if there is no food for quite a while, it's okay. I still can gain energy. I still can manage my life. It's not this essential, at least for a while. But taking the pressure from your body and your mind, having no additional toxins. Of course, I'm drinking a lot when I'm not eating. I'm drinking plain filtered water, which is very essential. So everything is flushed, everything is cleared, and there is no additional toxins, no more pressure from food that your body needs to take care of. But you can fully focus on what is inside of you.
Martina, in North America right now, that's actually becoming just another one of our trendy, seems like a diet trend right now, is the intermittent fasting. But we know that, like, it's not always just about the diet itself. It's actually what's happening to our mind, to the physiology of our body with the fasting. It becomes creating less dependency, breaking some habits. It's not just intermittent fasting, like I'm going to stop eating for 18 hours. There's a lot more reprogramming that's happening as we do this. And what I love about your philosophy and is that we need to step away from the concepts that one size fits all. So when a client works with you, is that something that, that fasting that you're speaking about isn't necessarily one way to do it, and only when that's the benefit of maybe a consultation with you is what their body needs at this time? Maybe it does need the 3-day fasting or something later on, but each person is such an individual, and they've done their own level of healing. They have their own situation happening. They're bringing their past trauma, all of the areas, or their mind maybe is too busy. Is that really what you're leaning towards with the one size doesn't fit all?
Absolutely. It's really funny that you're talking about that now, because I didn't tell you before. What I do with my clients, that I'm testing their metabolism. I can test every single food for food intolerance. I can help with the detox. I can test for what is eventually lacking. And the intermittent fasting is not for everyone. So we have people that need to have food like every 5 hours, but working on the physical body, getting the metabolism in a perfect way that it fits their life. They might step away from the 5 hours, go to the 8 hours. Some people want to gain weight, some people want to release weight. So, and what I found is when I'm testing the metabolism, and I tell them, for example, breakfast is your main meal. Yeah, but this was never like this when I grew up. So I have some small for breakfast and my main meal is for dinner. Yeah, okay. So you're wondering why you cannot release weight. Just change it. Have your main meal in the morning and have only a small thing in the evening. So it's really individual. And also, it's not about being vegan or vegetarian or pescatarian or whatever there is kind of diet. This is not the point. The point is what fits this person individually. Of course, it makes sense if, for example, a cancer patient is talking to me. I will talk about the blood pH level and that it's most essential to create an alkaline basic in the body. This is most important, and therefore it would make sense to my maybe like 6 or 8 weeks of vegetarian or vegan diet. But then you can mix You can put other things in. I had a patient with pancreatic cancer, and one day he followed my words and he went to vegan food. And one day he called me and said, "Oh, Martina, I did on the weekend, I did something stupid." And I said, "What did you do?" "Oh, I had a steak." I just asked him, "Did you enjoy?" He said, "Yes. Yes, it was so delicious. But you said," I said, "Michael, all is good. If you really enjoyed it, the benefit of the joy is much bigger than this little bit of harm that maybe the acids in the meat caused to your body. You did everything perfectly right." And the same was with smoking, because he did smoke. And he said, "Yeah, you will tell me, of course, I have to quit smoking." I said, "Well, I do not have to talk about the fact that smoking is maybe not the best thing you can do. But if you can reduce, fine. If you can stop, perfect. If you don't, go on smoking. But promise me one thing, enjoy every little cigarette, enjoy every cigarette you have, and just be grateful and happy for that." And he looked at me like, "What's wrong? People are not used to that." But I never go with concepts. That does not work. It's not a religion. Religions work like that, concepts, but that does not work for humanity. It simply
But
doesn't work.
I think so that leads us into today. What you really want to share with us is not focusing on what we don't want, right?
Yeah.
So can you give us, I don't know if you have steps or a mindfulness awareness, or when you're speaking of that, how is that in relation to our self-healing and our ability to consciously create that optimal health and take
Well,
responsibility for it, right?
at the end, it's very easy, because this one sentence says it all. Don't focus on what you don't want. There is nothing more to add. This is why this is my favorite quote. If I don't want to see struggle in my relationship, I do not focus on the struggle of the relationship, but on the positive side. If I want to be healthy, I do not focus on my back pain or on my migraine or whatever is there. Of course, it might be challenging and bothering, but other parts are working. And it's time to honor those parts that are working and not focusing on the headaches. The headaches will get more and stronger if you focus on the headache. And no matter where you look, which area of your life, it's always the same. It's the law of resonance. What goes out will come back to you. And it's that simple. If I do not want to see war in the world, I do not want to talk or think about war. I want to think about peace. Send all of the people involved in any war on this planet love and energy to change. And if I don't want to see waste, then I will collect what I see in the physical world, but I will not focus on Greta Thunberg or her concept of, I don't know what's going on, but this is really crazy. Of course we need to do something, but focus on your little world, change it, and focus on the positive effect. If I cleaned a small area, I have a clean area. So I'm happy about that. And that's a very simple principle, but people always focus on what they don't want.
Yes. Yeah, I love how you simplify that, Martina. And I wrote this down because I want to remember it, but you said honor the parts that are working. And I think so often we don't do that. You're right. We do focus on what we don't want. And it sounds like you're saying that your system is simply moving your attention to what is working,
Yes.
and moving your attention to what you do want. And I'm hearing a lot about conscious decisions, making conscious choices. And the mindfulness piece is just tuning in and listening to what does your body want. And if it
That's
doesn't want a steak, then have the steak, but enjoy every ounce of it.
well, the thing is, you can decide to go only with organic food, but still you don't know what is in the organic food. It rains down what rains down. It's in the earth what is in the earth. And only those things that they can analyze, you might eventually know about. But what is about all these bacteria? They have no idea that exists. They have no name for it. And we still live. So just enjoy, and it's really that simple. That's the problem. Everybody's making a problem out of everything. Everything has to be complicated. If I tell people, do the deep belly breathing, it will help you on so many levels. They don't do it because it's too easy.
Mhm.
Actually, that's your philosophies too, is that keeping it simple equals better results. The simpler that you commit to, which
Yes,
is a better result, that we are making things too complicated.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah, I picked that up on your website. Telling everyone to go to your website because it's just a wealth of information, and we're only getting to skim the surface of just all that you've studied and all that you've mastered. And there's just so much there. And I know Nikki's going to share a little bit at the end of our interview on some of the gifts that you're willing to give our audience. But I'm encouraging, gifts or not, go and look at Martina's site because there is so much there. There's so many little nuggets of wisdom that I also love that you leave the comments like the chaos is great, but not when it's inside your body. And then you let me, the viewer, interpret that. What does that mean to me? I love that you just put it out there and you made me stop, and I stumbled across it and I thought about like, what chaos is happening? And it's all over your site. It's wonderful, wonderful work.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. And something I'm just wondering, and I know you talked about keeping it simple and moving away your attention, but in terms of chaos, sometimes when we're caught up in the chaos, we don't see a way out. We go into that panic mode. Any suggestions for how to begin to notice that you're in chaos and how you can go about moving your attention so you can get to a place of clarity and peace of mind?
Well, what happens when you are, or when chaos is around you or inside of you? You're in stress mode. And there is the next bullet point, which is important. It's the autonomic nervous system. And stress means fight and flight or even freeze modus. And when you are in that state, I come back to the physical body. It's very straight what happens. You have high adrenaline, you have high cortisol levels, you have your heartbeat will speed up, the blood pressure will raise, but your prefrontal cortex will only receive a little bit of blood just to survive. But this prefrontal cortex is there for logical and analytical thinking, for creativity, and also for an adequate social behavior. So this is when somebody is completely freaking out, it's because the prefrontal cortex is not supported with the blood and the oxygen that is necessary to make it work properly. But you only go back into your back brain where all the information is stored and the reactions. So like when the tiger is after you, you just need to run. You do not need digestion. This is another thing that is not working properly. So when you are permanent in stress, you will have bad digestion. You cannot think clearly. And what can you do now if you notice those reactions? It mostly starts with raising your shoulders. You're having a very chest breathing, very, very little movement of the chest. Stop, consciously take yourself out and step a meter back and just do some deep belly breathing. Because what happens when you do that? In the lower parts of your lungs, there are receptor cells for the parasympathetic system. This is the system that will calm you down. And if you bring the air down there, the lung expands, the receptor cells are activated, and immediately, instantly, it cannot be different, you will calm down. And with that, the clear thinking is back, the analytical thinking is back, your energy gets back, everything is turning around, and you can start making conscious decision, a conscious action plan to help with the chaos, wherever the chaos might be. And it's that easy. It's about awareness and then taking yourself out of it, because the chaos is not you.
Mm-hmm.
You do not define about what's going on around you. That's not you. Step back, breathe, and then go on. It's that easy.
It is. It is that easy, and I love that. I love that you said the chaos is not you. I think so many times we own that. We think we are the chaos in some way, and so therefore we can't see a way out of it. But I really saw or heard 3 steps when you are in chaos, and that is to stop, become aware of it, breathe, deep belly breathing, and then simply refocus.
That's it. That's it.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love the simplicity of it, Martina. Anything else that you'd like to share with our audience?
Oh, what do you mean? There is so much to share. Please don't tell that, because I start at A and end at Z. Now, there is really one big message that I want to share, and this is follow your intuition. There is no single concept out there that is as good as your intuition. And if everybody else around tells you this is not good, and you feel this is for me, then please do it. It's with the intermittent fasting. It had no name when I started with that. Of course not. And I did it, and everyone, it was like, no, last century. And everyone said, yeah, you have to have breakfast and you have to have lunch, and this is not normal. And I said, no, I don't want to. I don't feel like this is beneficial for me. Mm-hmm. And it turned out it is okay. I never ever struggled with weight issues or anything like that. I can eat how much I want and what I want. It doesn't matter. And this is really relaxing, I can tell you. And follow your intuition. Don't believe any concepts. There is so much wrong information out there, outdated information. Even some spiritual people are talking old energy, things that are not up to date. They have huge beliefs in everything, and they want to sell you concepts and processes and methods. Follow your intuition. Don't focus what you don't want, and follow your intuition. That's it. And I think when you carefully, you get the signs, you get these messages. Sometimes it's something you read on a newspaper. Sometimes it's something that comes to your mind instantly. Sometimes you find something on your way, knowing it. If you struggle with money and next day you find like 10 pence on the street, why not imagine that this is not the 10 pence you found, but the 10,000 pound that is on your account? Money is lying on the street. Take all those messages and take them for your benefit, for your behavior. Life does not have to be complicated. Life can be joy and can be fun. And it's like, I love Dr. Bruce Lipton, and he's like, create heaven on earth. Mm-hmm. Why will you create hell on earth? That does not make sense. We are here to live, to enjoy, to love, to have fun, but not to struggle, not to be sick. That's not our purpose. And believe in yourself. The power is inside of you. Nobody from outside can help you. I can offer my wisdom and my knowledge, and I can guide you, but you have to do the work. You are your own healer. It's not me. It's only the universe being generous and giving me the opportunity to forward and get the informations. But the work happens inside of you. Believe in you. You can do that. Everyone has that power. I'm not special. I just have maybe the ability to better access it, but it can be set free in yourself. Ask for it and you will be given.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I know that you have some gifts for our audience. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I can tell you something about the gifts. I did some recordings because tuning into a certain energy, we are frequency, we are energy. And every disease, every organ, every gland, little thing has its own energy frequency. And when we are talking about a disease, an illness, then we are talking about a lower frequency. And what I'm doing with these recordings, I infuse them with a very high healing frequency. Actually, it's a light photon that I'm infusing there. And in that case, I cover the lymphatics. The lymphatic system is most essential in your body and is mostly overlooked in all areas, but it will clear your entire system from toxins and color from like tattoo, all these things. And the lymphatic system also produces the lymphocytes. So it's very, very, it comes to your immune system. And we are talking about the thymus and your spleen, also where your appendix is. There are lots of in your gut, not to forget, that are responsible for your immune system. Sometimes it gets stuck. Maybe you have experienced these lymph nodes swelling, which is very painful, or the surgeon thinks, oh, it's good to take out like 10 lymph, and then you have lymphatic whatever, and you have to have lymphatic drainage. So it's a very, very essential thing to clear that. And this is why I created that recording. And it's related to lots of disease, what I found out. And this is why I focused on that. Then I have, can you help me, the brain-body detox?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's the brain-body detox recording as well.
Yeah, this is a very beautiful detox to your body in general, to your mind, because emotions and thoughts can be very, very toxic. Less than having a real toxin on a physical level. And so this one focused at, and what I heard back from others, that they really love it and felt huge shifts. I recommend to listen to. And the beautiful thing is you cannot overdo. You can listen to it as much as you like. You can even, if you want to put it on loop at night, put it on silent and just let it run. It will do the job and you will get what's beneficial for you. And maybe today it's this area, tomorrow it's something else. So different layers that will be covered. And every time you will listen in, something else might be solved, you might be released for you. And I have a third one, please help me.
You do, you have a third one. It's balance, radiation, and other frequencies.
Yes, yes. Well, that's a big one because everybody has heard about the 5G and everybody is really scared about it. Does it make you be scared? No, we learned it does not make sense. We can adapt to it. We can be resilient. We have lots of radio frequencies, microwaves, and so forth going on. The Earth is emitting like for example, the Schumann resonance. What else? I don't know. We have lots of universe. We have other people, we have computers, we have cell phones. Everything is radiating, and be resilient. And this one helps you to adapt, to also raise your frequency, to adapt to the higher frequency, because that's the key. 5G is a higher frequency than 4G. And if you level up your cells to be able to vibrate in a more fast or quicker way, then you can live with a 5G as well. And there is no need to be scared about it. And therefore, there's this recording, and as the others to it, as you feel comfortable, or let it go, run on a loop, everything is fine. Just go with your intuition. If you feel it's too much, just stop it.
Martina, I love these three things, and I actually hear them almost differently having watched your video on the analogy that you gave, that as if to imagine that we're computers, that we have an operating system, and that operating system needs to be revisited, cleaned out. So not just in our thoughts, it's just that our whole, that we just get into this pattern and we're still working with the old original computer system that we had, you know, for some of us for 4 decades, 5 decades, before computers even came out. But that's how old our operating systems are. And it sounds like all three of the giveaways that you're offering all have that in common, that they will help us reprogram or clean out and really step into not carrying that old toxic waste, so to speak, or the old program system. It really helped me to kind of understand, like, to connect the two dots of what you're speaking about, detoxing ourselves, is that whole recognizing we're running on old systems that are no good for us anymore. And that's a common amongst most people, is that they don't even question their operating system any longer.
Yes, true. That's absolutely true, yes. No, there is a shift going on, or it had already happened, really about forgetting the old things and just being open for this to come. It's also, for me, I had a quite tough time, because when this energy shift to the 5D, the fifth dimension now, not G, but D, happened, it was the end of using knowledge. While knowledge is sometimes able to explain to people what's going on a physical, on a scientific level, but actually not necessary, because it's very, very helpful and beneficial to act from wisdom. Had always been there, will always be there. And as this enormous amount of information, pure information, not manipulated information, everything that is out there is created from a human mind. Every study has been paid by somebody, and this is how the result will look like. There is no real study out there, and you're manipulated and put into boxes and trying to keep you on a certain way of living. But this is all not the truth. Maybe it's true in some way, but it's not the truth. And when you act the part where the wisdom is, then you have pure information, and you can see what is really true, and you can see behind the curtain of illusion is moved away. And then you completely relax, and then you start laughing, because when you see the hype that everybody is creating around, and you know about the simplicity of how things truly are, you just have to start laughing.
Mhm. Beautiful.
But at the same time, you heal and you just let go. I do not engage in any of the discussions. It does not make sense. Just be and spread the love, share with others, be with others, and that's it. And it can be easy. That's the beautiful. It is easy if you allow it to be easy.
Yeah. If you allow it to be easy, that's key. And I think it's giving ourselves permission to
That's
let
it.
it be easy.
Yes. Yes.
I love it.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Love, 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 love it. Just, and I love that it starts with just even breathing down into that bottom depth of our lungs, into the parasympathetic, is that I'm just going to be, and I'm just going to receive, and I'm just going to lean into what brings me joy, and I'm going to let go of this notion I need to be suffering, and
Yeah,
I'm going to focus on what I do want, not what I don't. That
absolutely.
becomes my
Absolutely.
priority, and
Yeah.
permit
And
to do it.
yeah. And still, if something that you might label bad or negative happens to you, because we live on that, it happens to me. But now you have the choice to step into the emotion of whatever it is, fear, anger, frustration, doesn't matter. Or just look at it and get the message. What can I do different that it does not happen? You always have your part of a situation happening, or this situation is something, a message for you, where you still have to work on yourself. And now don't label yourself and, oh I can, or this is bad, or whatever. No, just look at it. Okay, or let go. It's not nice. This is not what I want to have in my life. I want this in my life. And then take action. No labels, no negative self-talk. It's not necessary. There is no, of course, there is black and white and good and bad, but I do not have emotion to that. I can see it, I can be aware of it. Okay, that was this good, but now I can take action that it goes in the other direction. And that's it. Stopping all the negative self-talk. This puts so much harm on people. And it really creates illness and disease, physical illness and disease. And people do not believe that, but it goes this, not to talk about all the mindset issues and the psychological problems, and take care. Think about yourself. It's not about this classic positive thinking, but no negative self-talk.
Mhm.
It's about having awareness and taking the right action. And the right action is definitely not focusing on the negative.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I want to re-listen to this again over and over. I'm just really grateful for you sharing your wisdom. I know that there's so much knowledge, and like you said, it's outdated, that's out there, and that we have our own answers, that we are our own healers, and there's just so many great messages that you're leaving us with to consider. Where are we taking responsibility for all of the things that you're sharing with us, that we do have that ability. And I'm really grateful for you shining your light, Martina. It's been such a wonderful time with you. You are just a gift, and I'm grateful that you are healing our world and owning that responsibility for your own evolution and energetic vibration, and sharing with us how easy we can lean into that, how accessible it really is for us, making it less complicated for all of us to just go, wow, I don't need to go and study in an ashram in India. I just need to
No,
sit here and be and breathe and focus on what I want and not give energy away.
that's it.
Mm.
That's it. It's nice to sit in an ashram in India. but but you don't have to do that. You really can do it everywhere where you are. You do not need a lot of money. You actually need any money for doing that. Just do it. And it was so nice here, and I could go on talking for hours because there is so much to say and to share, but so much for listening and yeah, having me here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Martina. You gave us so much. And thank you for also giving us the reminder and permission to let it be simple, let it be easy, start where you are, just get started. And
That's
feel
it.
free
Just
now.
do it. Let's get started. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you tell our audience where they can find you if you want to share your website or best way to get in touch with you?
Well, of course, yes. My website is www.wemakeyouhappy.de. Don't panic. The website is in English, so everyone can read it, except those Germans that do not speak a lot of English. They are always blaming me for not having everything in German language. And you can find me on Facebook. So it's again, then I have my group, which is Rebalance, Refuel, Remind, with monthly group clearing calls and other benefits. And yeah, and my private site as well, wherever you find me, you will find me.
Excellent. And we'll put all the links so that people can access you easily. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Until next time, everybody, thank you for joining Project Positive Change Soul Series, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.